Man, balance is everything. Hey folks, welcome back to another video here at Gideonstactical. I'm hanging out here in the woods of Montana. It's my very first day hike I've ever been on here in the state, and I'm looking forward to it being this kickoff to many. Let me know if a grizzly or a moose comes sneaking up on me. But hanging out here, guys, and I really want to talk about balance with you today. And balance for fixed blades, particularly say with this Red Wolf from Work Tough Gear. Now I've had several months of use with this Red Wolf, and I can tell you that it does strike a really good balance because it can be tough. A lot of times when designing a knife, you're wanting it to be regularly used, right? People using it a lot. You want that. So you try to make it more compact, easy to carry, but in so doing, oftentimes you sacrifice either capability, shrinking down the blade, thinning it out to the point where it's a great carver, but that's about all it can do, or you're shrinking down the handle and it's not very comfortable anymore, and sure, you can do a quick cut here or there, but you're not gonna spend 20 minutes around the fire doing woodwork. Or you try to kind of go overkill, and what ends up happening is you get this big, very beefy, capable knife, but it's so big and beefy, it doesn't really make sense to be carried that frequently, so it ends up staying in your gear tub or on the shelf most of the time. So it's very difficult, I've found, for companies to really blend the both capabilities so that it's usable and you want to carry it with you all the time, and its size, but also making it usable, making it so that it is actually capable, and you're like, man, I could do just about everything I need to if I had to in a sticky situation with this tool. Well, the Red Wolf, I believe, in many ways can accomplish that. We're going to talk about that today, just in the designing that went into it with the handle, with the blade, choil, no choil, thickness, grind angles, all of that. So let's go ahead and dive in. Got a thunderstorm coming in, so I better wrap this part of the video up, and let's go ahead and take a look at the Red Wolf and see what its capabilities are of kind of making that perfect balanced belt knife. Love the splatter pattern on this blade. I mean, it just looks so good. And guys, honestly, that's a major connection point with this design as like a companion blade. I would argue, again, this isn't full-size survival, though you can do a lot of camp as well as survival tasks if you had to, hunting, whatever it may be, with the edge being, and the blade length being 5 inches. I mean, that is a perfect size. It's not too big, it's not too small. It gets a lot done. We got this nice, wide, broad, great drop point, large belly portion right there into a very high saber grind, so it's not quite a full flat, but it's not a thick, deep saber grind. We'll just give us an example here. Here's a bad one. I'm working with this one right now. The SP2 from Ontario. I mean, look at how low that grind is. I mean, that is just an obtuse grind. It's basically a sharpened pry bar, whereas this coming up very high, the saber hitting right above the logo basically, and kind of tapering down. And then 0.15 back here by the jimping, 0.15, and then tapering, not really until you hit about right here. So you're getting that thickness all the way through, which I've talked about this a lot. Okay, so there's a lot of differences. Some of it is as geometry down here at the edge. Some of it is the grind. Are you doing hollow? Are you doing full flat? Are you doing saber? Whatever it is. And then some of this thickness. All those things of the spine work together to perform different tasks for different capabilities. Going back to this Ontario real quick. I'm just doing a little knife lesson here. So I think this is like 0.2 or even thicker. So I mean, it is really just a sharpened pry bar, and even then it came like dull as a butter knife. So was not super impressed with that edge geometry at all, and I had to put over an hour into it just to get it to cut basic tasks. So in that regard, but that's kind of what's designed for on some level. Now, it shouldn't be as obtuse and obnoxious and dull as it was, but it's made basically for stabbing, prying, getting out, tearing out through like the fuselage of an aircraft, and doing some basic survival tasks if you had to. This, much more of a camp knife. All of those things transitioning and working together make this like just the perfect for camp tasks. Light batoning, some delimbing, some just little quick hacks, food prep, feather sticks, cutting, carving, doing whatever it is. I mean, it is coming together with the convex edge, full flat grind, up to the very high saber, into a 0.15, so it's not overly thick at like 0.2 like that other one, and it's not like an eighth, so you're getting a little bit more strength than an eighth of an inch thick blade. All of those things come together, just be delicious, excelente when it comes to a belt knife that you're actually going to use, you're going to enjoy using it, and it's going to get the work done around a campsite, on a backpacking or hiking trip. I got so wrapped up in the excellence that I forgot to hit one last thing on the steel. It is Japanese SK85 high carbon steel, differentially heat treated 56 to 58, and I would put it up against just about any USA made 1095 high carbon steel. It performs very well in shock resistance from all the different models I've owned over the years. It holds a good edge. It's very easy to resharpen. The one thing is with the coating, that definitely helps. I haven't seen too much rust on here, but it is prone to rust, even I find a little bit more than 1095, so just keep it well oiled. I would argue it's better to get something like this with some of the splatter coatings or something like that, or finishes that they have, just to help, particularly if you're in a high humid environment. I'm in a pretty low humid environment, but even then, some of my high carbons pick up rust. So that's just something to consider, but the steel itself performs very, very well. So what we have here in handle is amazing. It is good. It's great. Completely radiused angles everywhere. So 0 hot spots, contoured very well. Not too small. A lot of knives in this category, in like the sub 5-inch range, can start to get really narrow and kind of be too small. It's perfect for my size hands, large size hands, plenty of real estate out the back there. Great ribbing and texturing, not being overly rough, but giving you texture on that G10. Good scallops on either side there, so you can pinch and do pull cuts for food prep and those type of things. Great deep cut in, just a little tiny hit of jimping right there. Just give you a little something to grab onto, but nothing that's gonna bite and be painful for lots of woodscraft. And just, you can see there, bow drill divot holes on either side. Nice generous lanyard slot, recessed screws, and coming in at about 8.5 ounces and then about 12 ounces with the sheath. Makes this just a very lightweight but very formidable package in your hand. No finger choil, and I'm glad about that. This knife does not need it, and knives of this size, in my opinion, never really need it. There's no point to choke up right there as long as the blade is at good distance to your hand, and you got all kinds of stuff to work with. You can easily put in a reverse grip, do chest lever pulls all day long, and really works well. So I have 0 complaints with the ergonomics on this, and it's excellent. Excellent ergonomics. I mean, it's hard. Sometimes when you get such a good design and something that connects with what you look for in blades, it's like, yeah, I mean, what can you say? It is working, man. It is a working blade that has so much functionality on the blade end, but also on the back end, even with that sweep there. Just, yeah, man, you are in control. You're working. You know you got a tool that you can hold for an extended period of time and do a lot of woodwork, food work, general utility with, and not be concerned in any way that you're going to cause hot spots or uncomfortability in the design. So Kydex sheath, I love the Kydex sheaths that are coming out of Work Tough. They've always done that, and they do have some leather options that they've done sometimes with models, but really don't have a lot to complain about. We have a taco design, which is great, which means that the profile is slimmer, good lashing points, completely ambidextrous. You can unscrew the belt attachment, which is nice with the nylon and a button there for a dangle. You can do blade tech locks. You can swap it right or left. Drainage hole, so no issues there. Good thumb ramp and good retention. Boom, easy to pull off. Snaps back into place. Something I've been noticing recently, I don't feel like I noticed it early on, is there's definitely some side-to-side slap with some of the Work Tough Kydex lately. I don't know if that's just a fitting issue. I mean, it's not coming out or anything like that. Like, it's solid in there. It's just kind of loud and slapping around in there, but the tension at the connection point is good, so I have no complaints with that. It would be nice if that was a little quieter and a little less slap, but other than that, I'd way take it over something like I'm working with right now, like nylon, you know, like that. And I'd always kind of gravitate more to Kydex than leather. All right, guys, let's go ahead and hit the pricing and competitive options, because I got 2 here to throw at you, and particularly in this price range kind of idea. Now, this guy's gonna go for about $135 on average over on the Work Tough website. So we'll have links for you guys below if this is something you want to pursue and chase after. They do batches, and it's a very small company. So if it's out of stock, they'll come back around and they'll be in stock again. It's good to maybe follow them on Facebook and Instagram so you can see what models are dropping, because they have about maybe a dozen models right now that they do kind of like 200 of, you know, and then when they sell out, they're sold out, and then they'll come back around, you know, a couple months later and do another batch. So that's kind of how currently the model is. So at $135, what you're getting fit and finish, design, quality, I mean, it's very competitive. What else is on the market? First off, I just want to show you the BK16, which is a great tool. I love it. But I would say you get more with the Red Wolf, because we're getting a bigger, fuller handle, a little bit longer, a little bit fuller. This is a full flat. It's almost full flat. They're about the same thickness, but you're going to get a little bit extra edge geometry out of that. This comes stock, everything that you've been seeing today. This guy comes with just a nylon sheath, and then you got to upgrade to micarta, and then if you want Kydex or leather, you got to upgrade again, and you're easily paying $135, if not $150, $160 to really get it to run like the Work Tough does out the gate. Now on the flip, what we have here is an amazing tool. This is the Knife Connection Archetype, made by Tops Knives right here in America. Now again, Taiwanese made with Japanese steel, amazing fit and finish, but that is something to consider. These here are USA made. So very high saber grind, a little bit lower than what we get on the Work Tough. So I would argue for like food prep, that the Work Tough is gonna be a little bit better for food prep than this Field Buddy 5.5 from Archetype, made by Tops Knives for the Knife Connection. But you can see there's very similar, but even bigger, fatter, broader, exact same thickness, or almost, I believe it was 0.16, 5/32 of an inch thick there, but a fuller handle. So if you like even bigger, thicker, fuller handles, this is basically an SE6 handle, very contoured, nice and rounded. You can kind of customize some stuff. Great Kydex sheath that's going to come with. This guy's going to go for about $160 to $170, I believe, depending on combinations that you go with. So you're going to pay a little bit more. It's a little bit beefier. It's a little bit thicker in handle and in the stock saber up there, but very similar style of, you know, companion camp knives that you're getting. We'll have links for you below for all three. Well, gang, there you have it. I hope that this video has been fun and entertaining, giving you the data that you need, helped you make a wise decision, and just showing you what Work Tough gear is producing, as well as competitive options, so you can make the best choice possible when you are looking for that kind of, there should be like a new term. I don't know. I'll think on it. Like carryable knife, a knife that you want to carry and makes sense to carry, but still is very capable in the backcountry, like on a day hike like I am today, as a storm is rolling in. So guys, look forward to hearing your comments, your thoughts on this particular tool. Want to know what you think, and until next time, guys, appreciate you leaving comments, thumbs upping, sharing, and I invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Check out the other video popping up, and always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.